Okay. Hey, does everybody see the screen?
I can
Then
see
I suggest we start. This meeting is being recorded. Thanks to the digital technology of the BlueJeans web conference application. Not many people know it, unless you work at KLM, I think, but it's fairly robust. I'm bragging now, so I hope it doesn't crash this. Welcome, everyone. Again, a virtual meetup. I have a sense this may just be the last one, and I'm not really sure because our next meetup is the 24th of June. And depending on the rate of vaccinations and how comfortable we feel about doing live sessions again, it will be maybe next, or otherwise meeting afterwards. But we're grateful we're alive. Thank you for staying alive and joining this session every time. We're with, I think, 45 people that have registered, and let's see, 25 that have now logged in. That will probably become 30, and then we'll have a healthy number. We have a couple of guests today. Some of you may know Tarek, Ekaterina Obolenskaya, and Doug. Of course you know. Tarek is freelance marketing cloud architect. Ekaterina is from Isobar Prague, I believe. Is that the right city? And you can unmute if you want to speak. And Doug.
Confirm that it's correct. Yeah, thank you.
And Doug from Accenture. They will be the speakers today. On the agenda, we have Tarek starts with the new release features. Ekaterina will do the interaction studio explanation, what you can do with it, and Doug will present something exciting that they've developed at Accenture, development tools, and depending on who has vacancies or is looking for a job, we will allow some time to promote yourself and find some new colleagues. Like the last time, we again have been granted 6 certification vouchers. So there are full exam worth vouchers. I need to one disclaimer: if you win that certification, you have to do a certification test yourself. You cannot give it to a colleague. So I'm not sure who that was last time, but he gave it to a colleague, which is very noble. Thank you, Viraj. And I got an angry Salesforce community support staff on my neck. Who did you give the voucher to? So apparently that's not allowed, but you'll probably manage. So the voucher goes to the 6 nicest, best, most intelligent questions, and maybe even the best answers. So I invite everyone to step in. So to start, I'd like Tarek to take the stage. I think will you share your own presentation, or shall I do that?
If you can, then it will definitely work. Otherwise, we need to do the switcheroo and see if it works.
Not a problem.
Always exciting to see when something appears in on a specific stack. But I think today I saw the package manager. So
okay,
just a very quick overview on the new features that were released. I won't go over everything, but these are, I think, the important ones, and I think Ekaterina will discuss the interaction studio. So, of course, you guys know where you can find the release notes. But yeah, I want to highlight these elements. So let's start with the package manager. It's like I just mentioned, I just saw it appearing today in the different stacks. So hopefully you guys can also see it. So it's they hid it under the platform. We have a new menu called the package manager.
I checked today, and we have it.
I think I saw it everywhere. So this is one of the few things that have appeared everywhere.
Yeah.
And if you click on the slide, then you get a nice introduction screen. But basically, what this allows you to do is to export journeys, automations, assets, data extensions. A bit more advanced than the deployment manager that's also available. And then the idea is, of course, that you can export this from one business unit to the next, but even from one client to another client. So especially exciting for all the integrators and all the agencies. Now you can only do it once and then copy paste, and then hopefully when you import everything, it will work smoothly. It just appeared today, so I haven't had time to test it yet. But I think it will look, but I think it will work. But especially with the Journey Builder, check everything because especially Journey Builder is very finicky when it comes to all the connection being set correctly with the decisions and everything. But definitely exciting, and will hopefully save you lots of time installing all the standard stuff you need to do.
And will this only do the metadata, or also, for example, if you have a data extension where you store some settings, for example, will it also do data, or is it just the metadata definition?
Is planned, as far as I know.
No?
I think it's metadata. But definitely exciting if you need to create a data view, data extensions every time you hit a client, and this will definitely make all the standard work a lot easier. So hopefully soon I'll find time to play around with it.
Okay, next one.
Yeah, let's move on. We'll move quickly. This is an important one for all the old timers. Marketing Cloud is introducing or enforcing all the new endpoints. So that means that all the old endpoints that you have for the FTP, the SOAP, and the rest, they will become extinct. And if we now click, then I quickly showed you where you can find all the new parts. So for the SFTP, you'll find that there's you have your own subdomain, so it's a bit more secure. It's a bit more difficult to guesstimate the URL, and the same applies to the SOAP and the REST APIs. So I thought I removed all the IDs. So please don't.
Quick.
But definitely for clients that have been active for a long time, very important to inform them that Marketing Cloud will end supporting them. I'm now with a client that has been using Marketing Cloud for I think more than 10 years. So this is, I think, a biggie for them because they need to revisit all their integrations that they have. And speaking of integrations, another nice feature is that you can now connect directly with an Amazon. Sorry.
I have two questions on the previous slide. So from Sam Wally, is this a rebranding of the deployment manager or a new or better version? And I'm not sure what the previous deployment manager was. I'm not familiar with that one. Sam, can you explain a little bit your question?
So there's another platform when you just demonstrated package manager, very similar to deployment manager, which is another tool that Salesforce Labs brought out. I was wondering if this was sort of rebranding or perhaps just a better version of.
I believe this is a better version, and this will then be the permanent version, because the deployment manager is of course a solution that you need to install from the App Store. And the package manager is, of course, always available. So probably the deployment manager will not get as much love as the package manager.
Great, thank you.
Okay.
I can add more things here, for instance, if you may allow. So for the deployment manager, so I think it will be killed by this new package manager, because with package manager you can copy a lot of things. So let's say you want to copy a journey. So you are going to copy the journey and all the emails within the journey and even the assets in the emails and the data extensions, for instance, of the journey also. So, and for previously for deployment manager, so you just copy, for instance, the journey itself. It's not a better version of deployment manager, but it's completely a new product.
Okay.
That's correct. So it basically allows you to really copy paste, while the deployment manager needed a lot of testing to make sure that everything was there. Thanks for the clarification.
Yes, so Rinke had a question. It's been answered by Viresh already. If the package manager is available on all account types, and apparently it is on all account types. But that's a good thing. Okay, sorry, Tarek.
No problem. Another very nice feature is that you can now add directly to an Amazon S3 bucket. So under file locations, you now have an option for the Amazon. And if you do one more click, then here you can basically set up your storage. So that means that all the data warehouses can now connect directly to the Marketing Cloud. So you basically you pick up the file that is or the data that is stored on the bucket, and you can then import it directly into a data extension. And if you do one more click, Michiel, then the only thing is that you don't have a file drop. So you do depend then on a daily or an hourly update if you. But I think a lot of clients use AWS, so this is definitely will make life a bit easier, because now you don't need a partner that will generate a CSV file and place it on the Marketing Cloud SFTP. And I tested it with the client, and it works really nice. This is, I think, a strange one, because of all the clients that I have, only one actually has the Ekaterina reports already there. So it should have been released in the last release everywhere, but somehow I don't see it. I don't know if you guys have any tricks or ways to get this.
Apparently they're released based on contact.
You can contact your account executive, and they will get you to sign a document, basically a free waiver as addition on your contract. It should be free, which allows you to get faster in the queue to be released. I believe officially they have until the end of the year to release this feature on all stacks globally.
Okay.
Do you hear me? I just saw this with a client that had his org released a couple of weeks ago. So it is with new orgs, it's already there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hello, do you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I'm Martijn. I'm working at PostNL, and we exactly did that. So we asked Salesforce, our account executive, to enable it for us, and they did. So we already have the Ekaterina reports. It's so much better. So maybe if there's time, I can share my screen and give you a little overview of it. But
I'm okay. Yeah.
I have some screenshots, but this is very basic.
Okay.
But if you want to zoom in, that'll be perfect. Because to be honest, I haven't had the time to really work with it.
No, it's not that we are already fully implemented in all of our reports, but we're gonna. But of course, we click through it, and yeah, I think it's much better than the old reporting stuff we had.
Yeah,
Hey, Martijn,
So
it wasn't a high bar to cross.
Martijn, do you want to do that now, or we can also invite you for next time to give a more extensive demo, maybe?
Demo, I don't know, because like I said, we just also need to dive in and see what all the possibilities are. But yeah, I just want to say that
if you click on the next or on the mouse, then you'll see a few screenshots. So yeah, what you see is that everything looks a lot more lightning-like. And if you click again, then there are also a lot more options available. So you can create pivot tables, which you can then also define. Click on the next slide. So here you have all the different dimensions and the measurements you can set up. So especially with the opens and the clicks, I'm hoping that this is a lot nicer than creating SQL queries every single time. And you can also then export everything. So if you see here, then yeah, you can also export this and use it in other systems. But to be honest, I haven't gone any further with this.
Looks like a basic BI system, but already a lot better than what we had. Nice. Yeah. Okay. So Martijn, is it okay if I ask you next time to, if you have then more experience, to demo that? Is that okay for you?
Yeah, that's okay. But yeah, let's see then if we are already there.
Yeah, no pressure there. So yeah. Only a little. Okay.
No pressure at all.
Because the same, what also releases for Journey Builder, you have a lot nicer analytics now. At least it looks a lot snappier. So if you now go to Journey Builder, then you get the splash screen and the reports that you now get by default are they got some more TLC.
Yep. And there's also now integrated Google Analytics, I think also. That was last release, I think, not this one.
But that's also now improving, and yeah, they're a word of warning, because Marketing Cloud is adding the UTMs to strings to your URLs. So if you already have a URL with URL variables, then Marketing Cloud will probably break your last variable.
Will it override the variables you've set custom?
What it basically does, it will add a question mark with the UTM codes to the existing URL. So it does not check if your URL already has a question mark. So that means that you'll get two question marks in the URL.
Web Analytics connector, it should keep the existing ones. If you're manually doing it, yeah, I think it does some interesting things.
So you say should.
If you're using the Web Analytics connector, so I've seen this with one of our clients. If you're using the Web Analytics connector, which is like the old school version, you can go to Parameter Manager. It stayed, and the Google version was not by default enabled. It's available, and you can enable it, but it's not by default enabled. Don't know if anyone else has seen anything different. But if you've got manual variables, I think by default it started to get added. Yeah.
Cool.
So what we notice, especially if you have forms where you have your own URLs for pre-filling forms or something, then yeah, this feature can definitely break your URL so that things that used to work all of a sudden don't work anymore. So yeah, double check any funky URLs you might have in any emails or any WhatsApp messages you sent, because this might cause some problems.
Okay, next one.
But yeah, well, you'll see also in Journey Analytics if you've added goals or conversions, you will see this also now in Journey Analytics also there. So it will data from Google Analytics will be displayed in your Journey Analytics. Yeah, to be honest, I haven't really worked with this. I even have a client now with the Google 360, but I haven't had time yet to to install it. So that's a pity. So I'm pushing them to see if we can discover how good this works. It is exciting to see that also the free version of Google Analytics you can now connect to your Marketing Cloud. Is everyone using this already, or are people still waiting to play around with this?
No, it's actually, I got it working for a client actually yesterday, and I I activated it, the Google Google Analytics connection. Yeah, it's fun to see your basic GA data in your Journey Analytics. It's not per se a replacement, so I think it's helpful that especially if you're using the GA version, or if you're also using the UTM tagging option, because then you sort of automatically tag your links with all the strings Google really likes you to add. So yeah, it works fine, and also here it's pretty decent. It probably won't replace your GA results, but it's pretty neat that it's out of the box. Although one interesting feature is, what about, for example, they are using the Web Analytics connector, and they're sort of keen to transition to the Google Google Analytics variant. So now they're in a state as in, okay, we've got all the Google ones in, but how about the custom ones? I haven't found out yet if the Web Analytics connector and the Google Analytics connector in terms of UTM tags are playing nice with each other. So that's something I need to find out, but apparently some custom variables, of course, are still, well, you still want to include them in your URL. And I'm not sure if the Google Analytics connector really likes that option.
That's a good point.
Can you turn it off again?
I think so. You can enable and disable. There's a big button there.
Okay.
But it should be interesting to see if the old Web Analytics connector and the Google Analytics one are playing nice with each other. For example, if you say I want them both, or basically I want to have all the Google variables automatically filled, but I also still sort of as a bonus want to add more custom variables, but I'm not sure if that's an option. I'm not sure if it's an or situation.
Especially because not everyone's using UTM, right?
Unfortunately.
Are you then also connecting Google Analytics that they push data into a data extension, which you can then use in the journey?
Sorry, was that question directed at me?
Yeah, sorry.
What was your question? I didn't hear your question.
Well, if you're also using the feature that you can have Google Analytics push data into a data extension, which you can then use in a journey to start off.
I haven't tried that one yet, but I thought that was limited to 360. I'm not sure if that's a free version option.
It's just Google 360 and paid additional license from Marketing Cloud, and the license is not cheap.
Talking about,
is it ever?
For the use cases that I had, I can't remember the figure that we got quoted, but I remember when we discussed it with one client, setting it up, they had GA360, so that wasn't a problem, but the additional license cost for the volume of contacts they had versus the actual likelihood of it driving revenue, it wasn't even a question. That it was just, it's not even worth even discussing. Like the cost was, in excess of 100,000 kind of euro. And so if you've really got the right market for it, it makes sense. But basically it's because Microsoft, Salesforce is paying Google a fee for each of those individual contacts. And so that's where they both make money out of it. And they have to make money somewhere. So if you're using Google Analytics to do a lot of audiences, it's probably a great feature, but it's one of those trade-offs, right?
No, then we'll probably wait a bit longer and see if the price comes down. But I think the last slide I have is also a very nice addition to Journey Builder. Is you now have the wait until event icon in your flow control, and the screen by screen version here. Basically, what this allows you to do is you can set up a wait in your journey, and the contact will remain in this state until the API call has been received, so that the contact can continue in the journey. So if you have a flow where you depend on some external event taking place, then if this external event can fire off the Journey API, then you can now incorporate this into your journey. And as you can see, is that the Journey API is like the standard Journey API. So in the end, data will be added to a data extension, of course. And nice features. You have the maximum wait duration, so you can then also in your journey come up with a flow. What needs to happen if the maximum wait time has been exceeded?
Could you theoretically abuse this to get people who are in a journey who get an update? Let's say their order gets delayed, to get them to end or pause the journey?
Well, I think you need to use this for a journey where everyone depends on this state. Eject someone, then.
Yeah, the use case for this one that we've seen the most for is page views. Wait until someone looks at the page, and if they do, then fire it off and send them going down the journey. Because that's kind of the easy one that we saw a lot of use cases for. It's exactly, I guess, Katja, you're going to see from her Interaction Studio, which is trying to fit a very similar use case as well. But I think it's a nice feature that's existed actually since 2017 in pilot, and then got removed and added and removed, and then it's finally come and made its way back after they did some performance testing. It's a really interesting thing for very specific use cases, but outside of those use cases, I think most people are going to go, I don't see the use.
Well, you can abuse it for a lot of different
things. If you use Journey APIs for other features as well, then I think you can have the case where if you send this journey, this event, it can continue an action in this journey, but it can also then start another journey. So it's a nice handover you can use this for.
And if you're creative enough, you can use it as a wait till open or wait till click. You can abuse it for a lot of different cases.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think for example, an abandoned cart, where you also have physical store purchases that you log, that could be a trigger to stop your abandoned cart campaign, for example. Like, I think we can get creative on this. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very keen to get some case registrations through. So we're currently for a retailer who have some fucked up logistics, which creates cases in Service Cloud. And we basically want to figure out how to not send an NPS score to them right at that moment.
Yes.
This can be your manual okay, Viresh, where the mail will only be sent if you physically okay it.
Yeah, maybe do all the logic in Service Cloud, and or is Service Cloud linked?
Yeah.
Okay, and then just fire the message sent. Don't do any journey builder complex things. But, use the real Salesforce platform, the really powerful.
So powerful.
Okay. Hey, that was the last sheet, Tarek.
Yeah, those were the highlights, and then I leave the interaction stuff to Ekaterina.
Yeah, excellent. Thanks, Tarek. Ekaterina, can you take over the screen, or do you want me
Yes,
to
I will take it. Yeah, I will present. So just let me share my screen. Share screen. Good. Now you can see my screen. Do you see it?
Yes.
Yep. I don't think I need to.
That looks like an official Salesforce.
Yay! I don't know if it's working. Yeah. So basically, the agenda for today will be to cover some intro because I'm presenting at this community group for the first time. So at least to get to know you and for you to know me. And I will present. So as it was discussed, I will try to make an overview first, so you get the vision and the products of those who doesn't know the product itself. What is the actual vision, how it's structured from the perspective of handling data sources at one place and creating a unified customer profile, and also how Interaction Studio deals with real-time personalization. I will share a bit the demo account that we have and we work on to test some features. And also I included some new release features that Interaction Studio has from recent times. So let's start. So first thing is I'm based in Prague. It's Czech Republic, heart of Europe. And yeah, amazing city, very historical. So at least you know where I'm based. And a bit about myself. So yeah, as it was mentioned, I was delivering from Isobar. We now had company merge, so now we are working as a Merkle company, but we are still a Platinum Salesforce implementation partner. So seems like I am now switching to another company, but it's not because we are still operating as one big one. Just we had merged. Merkle. I was named marketing champion for the past year. For this year, marketing champions from Salesforce were not yet announced, so still waiting what will be the result. Also, from professional perspective, I am a lead solution architect both for Marketing Cloud and Interaction Studio. And personally, I consider myself as marketing automation and real-time personalization hero. The links you see here are 2 blogs where I'm actively posting some Interaction Studio features as well as marketing automation stuff or best practices, something related to my experience. One is this one, marketing automation isobar.ch is not only the source where I bring the content in, but also the team I work with. Other my colleagues place cool stuff also related to the marketing. Yes.
Yeah. Your audio is sometimes breaking up. It's best if you kill your own video feeds.
How should I do this?
You have you can somewhere where you see the other people. I think you see a video button. Or maybe it's because you're presenting, you don't see that button. So if you go
maybe
out of presenting mode, then kill the video and then go back again. That should.
But I need to. Maybe that's the issue. But let me just stop sharing for a while. I will check in the settings so I can turn off background noise cancellation.
At the top you have.
Yeah, I see don't show producer with video. Yeah, but I don't have a preference to not see videos from others.
No, it's just your own. Just kill your own video feed. That's enough.
Okay. Okay, then let's do it. Let's continue. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, inform me in case it again starts to break. This blog is mostly for our team cooperation, so my colleagues also post some content there, and a lot is related to some Marketing Cloud development stuff. And Surf Marketing Force is the blog which I launched with my ex-colleague, also Salesforce Trailblazer, under Marketing Champion program, so we post some content together there. And I'm 6 times certified, Salesforce certified. Regarding the, so that's basically it about myself. So let's now move to Interaction Studio topic. Here is a small intro of the product. Historically, the product was acquired last year in February, and now it keeps selling under Evergage product, which was acquired because previously Interaction Studio was presented by Thunderhead product, which is now considered as legacy. Salesforce Interaction Studio empowers marketers to visualize, track, and manage customer experience with the real-time interaction management on all owned channels, both online and offline. So basically, this is the platform which stands now under CDP, so it's also a data platform where you can connect all data sources together and then fulfill it with all customer experience tracking, behavior tracking, insights from different channels, and bringing it all together to show what is the right content that should be presented for your users, anonymous or existing ones, on different channels like web, email, mobile applications, and all is done in real time and is one-to-one personalized. Some of the key features is that Interaction Studio helps to understand each customer's true intent and orchestrate individualized journeys for every customer across every touch point seamlessly and in real time. And real time here should be pay the main focus, because the decisioning comes in up to 30 milliseconds, so it's immediate action. Second thing is that Interaction Studio enhances the power of Marketing Cloud with expanded real-time personalization. Currently and ongoing, Interaction Studio works natively with Marketing Cloud. Of course, it should be paid additionally, so it's not enabled as is. But regarding the data transfer, you can push data extensions data to Interaction Studio through automation flows available in Automation Studio and Marketing Cloud, as well as you can make some export of Interaction Studio segments back to Marketing Cloud and then use them for your journey builds, for email communication, for advertising studio campaigns, as, let's say, creating ad audiences or lookalike audiences. That's how it basically empowers the features of Marketing Cloud. Also, Interaction Studio enables intent-driven customer journeys, so it fulfills customer journey with the data, like what actually customers are looking for, what is their actual intent, and what then should be placed back to the customers in terms of what is next best offer, what is next best action, what kind of offer should be presented for this customer, this exact customer, because it's one-to-one. And Interaction Studio operates cross verticals, so it's built both for B2B and B2C markets, so everyone could have it in place. Interaction Studio vision. So first of all, it positions that customer is unique, and that customers should be treated that way in every channel, because as you can see, again, from historical perspective, marketing worked mostly as one-to-all communication. So we had some kind of newsletter sent, and one generic email went to the whole audiences, then it switched to one-to-many, so we started to work with segments, and then continuously we are working in segmented communication marketing, where we try to make some groups of people who are sharing together some interests, some insights, and then we try to treat them that way in what they are interested in. But Interaction Studio comes into the game, and it now, I would say, responds to market where it requires real-time one-to-one personalization, where the communication that are going from the brand reaches the customer in a very personalized way. So what is expected from the customer, or what is we understand the customer, so we understand the true intent, and then we present and promote the content or products that suit customer needs. And customer enables to understand and engage its prospect and customer as an individual in real time, because, as I said, a response comes in real time. Interaction Studio, just some kind of market information that it leads the market in personalization according to Gartner Quadrant. Also digital intelligence according to Forrester, and Marketing Hub, again, based on Gartner Quadrant analysis. There are a couple of strong, I would say, competitors in place, and my recent article on marketing automation blog makes a comparison between the Evergage or Interaction Studio and other competitors, because one of them is strong in, I would say, e-commerce stuff. Another one leads analytics, but again, based on my experience, Interaction Studio handles all sides from different features together on a very high, I would say, standard or quality. There are some use cases that are covered by Interaction Studio for different sectors. So Interaction Studio could handle financial services, retail, technology, travel, automotive, gaming sectors. So it doesn't mean that you need to operate in one specific sector to then start using Interaction Studio, because it will suit everyone's needs. And again, according to my experience, we are working on the projects from different sectors and just implement in a different way, but still use all features available in Interaction Studio. Regarding something related to a unified customer profile, because it's a beating heart of Interaction Studio. So our Interaction Studio builds individual profiles for both known and anonymous individuals, and they are updated in up to 30 milliseconds real time. Once, just an example, so on the web, in case we don't know who the customer is, so we don't have, or the customer didn't, as it said, raised his or her digital hand, so there is no form submission, there is no login to customer profile, there is no pop-up survey submission or something like where customer can be known. So until that time, the user is considered as anonymous individual. And then once this person raises digital hands and then give us some clue with the email address submission or logging in into customer profile, as I mentioned, then this user becomes for us as a known user. And in case this person exists already in our database, either we get it imported from Marketing Cloud data extension or other data source, let's say ERP, then the profile merges, and all previous experience that was tagged under this anonymous profile merge in the real customer profile, and then we have this profile merged together and have all insights in place tagged to this specific user. This customer profile stores for each individual affinities. So what are product preferences or product category preferences, block preferences that customer has, because based on the behavior that we store in or capture, track in Interaction Studio, then we have more insights of the interest of this customer, as well as we have tracking engagement of this person. So if in case there is some action made by this customer, not only the behavior itself, but also form submissions, calling to the call center, purchasing something, viewing viewing products, or adding something to cart, calling or like viewing some stuff on mobile application, email engagement as well is included. So all kind of these insights tracked from channels are stored under one user profile. Identity and attributes, I would take it both, because this is how Interaction Studio positions the data model itself. Because the difference is we don't store the data in Interaction Studio like we do in Marketing Cloud as a sort of data extensions, but we have some attributes that are tagged to one user profile, and this could be considered as fields for the data extension, but also we manage our identity types. And identity types is something which is not positioned in Marketing Cloud, because in Marketing Cloud we work with Marketing Cloud Contact Key. This is something related to data architecture overall, so what identifier is used for each contact stored in Marketing Cloud. In Interaction Studio we can store many identity types. So it could be Marketing Cloud Contact Key, it could be our subscriber key, it could be also contact ID from Salesforce CRM or lead ID for Salesforce CRM, as well as email address, as well as, let's say, if you deal with ERP, then it could be some user ID or customer ID. So basically you store each identifier from different systems that are involved into implementation to then make system work better in terms of profile merging. So based on this identity type that you will set up, system will automatically find the matches and then store each information from different sources under one customer profile once the profile merges. And of course then, based on this, all behavior that we track across different channels then are stored under one profile once we know who is the customer. And the last point is segment membership and predictive data. So when we deal with customers or our users in Interaction Studio platform, we can segment those under segment or as segment members. The model, how you can build segments, is very flexible, so it's not just like market equals to Netherlands or product interest is boots or something like this. No, it's far more deeper, because it also enables you to make segments for some category or product category interest, for actions that customer made, as well as some activity lengths. So let's say if customer viewed some specific product 3 times or was active for the past 3 days, so made some action or some view for past 3 days. So it filters your audience deeper than Marketing Cloud does. And what is important is that segment membership is automatically. So once you place some rules, it automatically brings in people in under segments. And in case the person is not valid or eligible to be in the segment anymore, it will be also removed automatically. What is important as a second thing is that these segments could be pushed in real time back to Marketing Cloud and then targeted with some email campaigns, or, as I mentioned, ad audience campaign in case you have Advertising Studio. And it's done natively, so you don't need to set up any APIs for this. From the platform perspective, I made this screenshot. So this is financial sector example. So how unified customer profile looks like. So we have here one known profile. We know the location. We know lifetime value, as well as like how many orders customer placed and what is the average order value. Regarding the affinities, on the right side, you can see what are 4 different dimensions that we want to track on. So these are product type, content class, category, and keyword. And then we can switch between the view time, the length of the session, as well as the purchase. So there are 3 different metrics for each of of these dimensions. So once you click for another one, it will change based on what exactly was used or what exactly was purchased. And here you have more insights of what is customer interested in. The line below shows the timeline, so you can also see or filter it out for some time period. Here it's for past 3 days. And circles here will show to you for how long the session occurred and what it was exactly. So here it is in orange, means that something was purchased. In gray there are some views of your products or blog posts, and there are also some kind of like actions made also placed on this timeline. Below you can see how you can use this customer data. So the overview gives you attributes related to this customer as well as identity attributes. So you can see that we use 4 main identity attributes to identify our customers, and this person has all of them in place. And segment membership will tell us so in which segments this customer appear. We can also compare our segments between each other and see what are action details. So if the customer made some action previously, so what exactly it was. And in event stream we can see all, I would say, the whole behavior tracking related to this customer. So all view product action, each visit to the web, each call to the call center, each mobile app, it could be launch or update or reaction to some campaign, email engagement are stored as an under event stream. And affinity details gives you more insights about the affinities, so the analysis again tagged to this specific customer. Here on the right side you can see when something was purchased, what it was exactly, so you have here relationship to your catalog that you set up. As for now, any questions maybe?
So one question from Mohammed. Maybe you want to explain that, Mohammed?
Okay.
Yes, my question is, what is data structure of a segment in Interaction Studio, and can we use that segment? For instance, let's say we have a segment in Interaction Studio. Can we use it as an entry source to a journey builder?
Yes, sure. So I will take it once I switch to the demo. So I will show you the user segment structure, and of course, that's basically how we can empower Marketing Cloud, that we will store some data, and based on some action that were made in Interaction Studio, we can then push the segments in real time into the journey, and then we define in the journey what we should do with the segment. So we then cooperate, or two systems cooperate together. I will show you user segment structure in the platform then. It's in plan for today.
I have a question on affinities. So
yeah, sure.
Comes out of the box, I think, and you have to configure that with the right tagging on the website. Right? Is that how it works?
So affinities work that the feature is out of the box, but because every business is different, so we are bringing in affinities the way that business wants to store it. So of course we configure it differently. So this is just an example, but in reality for different clients affinities are positioned differently. There could be, for example, for e-commerce, brand, keywords, categories, product types, and like gender, let's say, colors, whatever. And we store or we configure this not only under catalog setup, so how we understand business context, but also we take it then from, let's say, web experience. So each product is tagged with some kind of categories, keywords, brands, and etc. And then once customer views some kind of product item, then we have it stored with all related dimensions that we stored or set up in catalog. So we make a match together. But first thing, for configuration, we set up it under catalog because it relates to product catalog list. The values that each dimension or affinity has then is stored under each product item, because each product then has different kind of aspects, or I would say deeper explanation. That the values that you see here, they are brought from, let's say, each experience that customer had with some products in before. So based on view time, customer had searched for some personal products, and the category mainly it was insurance and investing, as well as credit cards and borrowing. In case you change the timeline, so you will search for, let's say, past 30 days, then it will capture all actions that customer had with your product catalog, so views, adding to cart, purchases, and etc. And then we'll map the main ones, and of course the values here will change based on customer experience. Okay, I will move forward. Something related to real-time personalization. So here we have interaction management at scale. So how Interaction Studio works, that we bring first the channels that we want to work with. So every project starts with the web integration. It's crucial one. So web and email comes as, I would say, standard channels to be integrated with. So web uses or listens to deep behavior tracking in the context of the business. So all of customer reactions to your web campaigns, web views, product use, blog post use, adding to cart, purchases, everything of this we configure and then listen to and bring it into Interaction Studio. For mobile, we have in-app behavior and actions. Regarding the mobile campaigns, Interaction Studio could handle in-app messaging, push notifications, and in-app personalizations, so bringing in some images or banners that will be shown in the app for the customer who is now online or who is now using the app. We bring in CRM activity or Customer 360 from Salesforce. So we use on this stage for listening, we use the data and activities that we store in CRM and push them into Interaction Studio for fulfilling the customer profile. Email and campaign, natively, as I mentioned, Interaction Studio is integrated with Marketing Cloud, so all email engagement like opens, clicks, responses are brought from Marketing Cloud, but also there is possible an integration between Interaction Studio and other ASPs like Marketo, Eloqua, and others. And on property, because not only we are limited to these sources, but we can bring some other data in. So from ATM for financial service, kiosk or point of sale for commerce markets. So we can also build additional data from the sources. Data that comes into Interaction Studio could be brought through ETL jobs, or also the platform has open API, and the data could be brought in via API. REST is the main one that is used. Then we have in the middle our Interaction Studio, which is our decisioning engine, which just captures all this data, stores under one profile, and then makes an action. So back to the web, we can make our personalized content. We can bring in offers, recommended actions, recommended products for each customer on one-to-one basis, blog posts, and etc. So Interaction Studio decides what exactly will be suitable to be shown for this customer who is now online on web, who is now browsing. As I mentioned, in-app personalization, push notification, and in-app messages. For the CRM, if we work with Service or Sales Cloud, we then can bring in from Interaction Studio a different contact profile, let's say, or lead profile. We can bring in additional tab. Also, it's available based on native integration between Salesforce CRM and Interaction Studio, and bring in blocks from Interaction Studio, which will populate the data or promotions and product recommendation for this specific contact in CRM from Interaction Studio, because we already know this contact in Interaction Studio because this data was brought from CRM into the platform. And then based on some behavior that we capture for this customer, we know exactly what should be then promoted for him or her. And the consultant who uses CRM under one contact profile could see what should be recommended based on what is offered by Interaction Studio. Regarding the email, it works the way that we can personalize the email. It is called like next best campaigns, again, offers and actions, and we can add segments to the journeys. This was described. Regarding the email personalization, it works the way that Interaction Studio doesn't send email because it's considered mostly for inbound communication, but it helps to build email templates or emails in Marketing Cloud, or I would say it prepares email content blocks for Marketing Cloud emails. And these content blocks, they could be used either for promotions, so let's say it's kind of offers for the customer, or content block for product recommendations, where once you send an email and once a customer opens this email, the offer or product recommendations content block will be populated with exactly personalized recommendations that were taken out of Interaction Studio based on the customer profile. And for this kind of customer recognition, we use either subscriber key of the customer or generally marketing contact key. On property source, delivers personalized next best actions or offers, for example, again, back to the sources, so ATM, kiosk, or point of sale. So again, we use some kind of area on the ATM, so real case scenario. Customer goes to the ATM to withdraw some money, puts the card in. We make a recognition of this customer, and API call is sent from the ATM to Interaction Studio, and Interaction Studio already prepares API response with some kind of what offer should be shown for this customer who is now on the ATM, and then some banner or some text or some kind of action is populated on the ATM screen presenting the content that is tagged to this customer, so what will be suitable for him or her right now. And of course it might differ time to time because based on customer behavior, then the content might be different. Regarding Interaction Studio touchpoints, so here is again some slide which from visual perspective could give you an overview how it works. So on the website, the very, very standard scenario is to personalize the banner, so personalize some promotion on the homepage banner area. In the email or journeys, again, we populate it with some kind of product promotions. It could be one as it presented here, but it could be also many, like up to 3 or 4 product recommendations that will be shown for this specific or certain customer based on his or her behavior. In-app messaging is used for mobile application, not only limited to in-app messaging, but still could be offer something just in the app once customer is inside. In property CRM, so as I mentioned, so here we have contact profile in CRM, and on this side there will be some kind of, here it's only 3. It's I know it's visually not that good, but how it works is that Interaction Studio works with this area in CRM and brings in offers that will be tagged to this certain customer or this certain contact based on the behavior we store in Interaction Studio. So then a consultant can make a choice and promote specific content or product to the customer once talking to him or her. And in media, so also we can integrate with DMP and then populate some ads as an action source for Interaction Studio. Any questions for now? I hear silence. I hope everything is good with my connection.
You answered your question, but that's more for the end, I think.
Okay. So I like this slide a lot because this is how we can bring in together both System, Marketing Cloud, and Interaction Studio. So how we can deliver our real-time one-to-one customer journeys. So we use our Interaction Studio Insights because they are customer-centric. As you saw, under one customer profile, we store a lot of information. And our platform or Interaction Studio is reactive. It's used mostly for real-time personalization. The main differentiator is that Interaction Studio handles inbound and offline orchestration, whereas Journey Builder or Marketing Cloud is responsible for outbound engagement. And then they can both cooperate together and support the whole customer journey in real time and on one-to-one basis. Interaction Studio also uses decision engine for orchestration. It has machine learning tools which are presented by Einstein recipes and Einstein decisions. And then this machine learning algorithm helps you to bring in the right content for your customers. And it gives you behavior reporting. So it has, and I would say for Marketing Cloud, maybe it will be better with the DataRem reports or also Einstein analytics. But overall, I was every time upset of how in Marketing Cloud handles the reporting system, because it's far advanced in CRM, but it's very limited in Marketing Cloud in terms of visuals, dashboards, and other stuff. So Interaction Studio has these dashboards which are clickable and are very flexible or customizable, so you can amend them according to your needs and then track the right goals or KPIs that you follow. And the platform works, as I mentioned, also with unknown and known consumers. Whereas Journey Builder is brand-centric, so we bring brand communication, we can send emails, we can use data for bringing in some or finding people in social media accounts with the help of Advertising Studio, find some lookalikes. We proactively drive customers to engage, and everything could be deployed in a single journey, so we can target different channels. Or the same audience could be divided and targeted in different channels. And regarding the reporting, we mostly track it under campaigns, so how our journey performs, how our email campaign performs, and etc. And of course, we deal with known consumers, because if we don't have any kind of communication channel information, we can't contact customers with Interaction Studio. Even we don't know what is the customer, who is it, we can use anonymous tracking and then bring in personalized content based on behavior, even not have an email address or mobile number for this customer or potential customer. Before I jump on new release features, let me go to the platform. Do you see my screen right now?
We do.
Cool. Yeah, just waiting for. I'm a bit afraid of the silence because I think, I hope it's not broken with my web communication.
No, it's just I turned everyone's mics off. or they did themselves. So
Okay.
it's a courtesy. So
Okay.
And not typing of let's say Doug.
Okay, cool. So then, yeah, that's basically how the platforms looks like. We don't differentiate Interaction Studio by business units like we do in Marketing Cloud, but we have different data sets. So here are some of data sets we work on. So my colleagues created some of their own data sets where they can test. And this is our demo account, so of course it's not our real customer account. So this is mostly used for testing purposes. The main screen is the dashboard, so here you can see some statistics of your total revenue, of how your recommendation works for web and email, because these are two sources we are working with. And we have here some like deeper statistics on the influences, the activities, so how many campaigns we are now having published, what are impressions for these campaigns, click-throughs, goal completions. Everything is flexible because you define for your clients or business how you want to see this. So what is your goal, how it's considered in the platform, then platform gives you insight based on the configuration. Some top campaigns from all campaigns, or differentiation based on the channels. Visitors overview, it's empty for now, because for past time we don't have any new visitors, but here also is statistics about who visited the page recently, even anonymous ones, and items. This is mostly related to product catalog, so how your products are performing, if they are viewed, purchased, added to cart, or removed from cart, and etc. you want to follow. What is important is that on the left side we have the overall structure of the platform. That's how you can navigate. So Wrapper handles the dashboard, so how you can get back to the main window. Under activity we have different metrics. So the mostly used are recent visitors and event streams. So for all visitors that, let's say, visited your pages. Oh, no. Okay, I need to log in again, sorry. Sorry for this complication. I thought it will be working. Let's see again. So I stopped on user segment, recent visitors. Let it load a bit. Yeah, okay, now should be good. So under reports, I wanted to show recent visitors. So all visitors, even there is anonymous, so it has some random ID, and you can see that every activity under random ID is stored under one profile. So once we have a unique visitor on the web, and then this user, the same one, comes back, we don't store it under another anonymous user, but we store behavior under the same account. And here we have like different visits, or I would say, recent visitors from the past experience. In event stream, we can see all events happened to our in our platform. Yeah.
Will it merge visitors also? So you have one anonymous visitor that visits from one browser, does that the same on the source that we see, and then both CC logs into it?
Yeah, the profiles will merge. So once we have some behavior tracked under anonymous user, and then this user, let's say, gives us email address, then our profile will merge with the existing one. If in case we have another, let's say, profile from our imported data from either Marketing Cloud, CRM, or other system, and then in case we have email address set up as identity type, which is best practice to have, then two profiles will merge, and every behavior that was, like each behavior that was stored under anonymous user will be shown under known profile, and that one, the random ID, will disappear because we will have then all other attributes in place from the existing profile. But the behavior will be merged. And the next time customer will, let's say, enter the web page, even not logging into the platform or submitting some form, then it still be considered as a known customer. So when it's known, then further behavior is tracked under known profile. And of course, if the customer is also known in mobile app, then all activities which are related to email engagement, mobile app engagement, or web experience is stored under one profile because it's tagged to the same user. So here you can see that, the list is long, and for real customer or real clients, it's far longer. So here we have 300 only pages, but or 300 rows, but in reality it will be much more because there are a lot of events happening with your brand. So this event stream gives you insights of each event that happened in with your brand or with your platform from different channels. You can then, of course, filter it based on event type. You can search for a specific user ID, which you can see here. So I can select some customer from here, anonymous user, and then search for events happening just for this user ID. Then we have other cohorts, actions, modules, paths, funnels, day and time. So this will give us more insights on reporting, the results from economical or material perspective, so revenue, purchase funnel, goal comparison, goal completion. Everything is set up according to your business. And with the visits, we have behavior, technology, reference sources. This information could be exported and then used, let's say, in BI tools for deeper analysis in case you need it, and in case you have, of course, BI tool in place. What is important to, it could be connected to you. So from a technology perspective, it's running on AWS, and it has its own data warehouse, or how it positions the objects in Interaction Studio, but also it could be connected to other BI tools. And I would say that it's past there. So you set up it through the API. So once some action appears, then it goes to the system. So then you can make it real time, as well as the experts could be handled like in Marketing Cloud, so in some kind of batches. So let's say for every 15 minutes or every 1 hour or every day. So this option is also possible to export the data. So the next thing, okay. Sure.
In view of time, I want to also reserve some time for questions, and I think you also have some
just very briefly that, how we can manage our channels and campaigns for different channels. These are this section. So how we set up our web integration is this section we work with, mainly developers work. We set up web templates and then create our web campaigns again under web channel section. Service side is mostly responsible for custom campaigns. So let's say CRM, next best offer, and next best actions population, or we create under service side. Mobile experience, so mobile setup, as well as push campaigns, mobile data campaigns, or in-app messages, we set up again under mobile section. Email content blocks we create under open time campaigns, and then use them for bringing in the HTML code from this campaign setup into Marketing Cloud email content. And third parties give us a clue for native integration sources. So here we have Salesforce CRM enabled, Marketing Cloud, but other products could be used as well. And the user segments, the promised features. So here we have different segments in place. So let's say there could be very, very generic ones. So let's say here we have high-value customers purchased at least $100 worth of any product for all time, and there is one member already here. For the man's affinity, I can show that a favorite gender ID is man, measured by view time for all time. So again, you're very flexible of how you can build a segment, and you can bring in as many segments as you wish, as well as if I open the segment. So I have, first of all, how many users I have under the segment. I can, of course, edit the segment in setup. So I can choose my rules or group some rules together. The important thing is that I can, basically that's done in setup. I should stay, and I can send it to other sources, so I can use the segment to use them in real time for Journey Builder. So how you will then build your journey is that based on event entry source, these people who are appearing in this segment list will automatically join your journey and then be engaged with the campaign that you set up in the journey. And this is for segments. As I mentioned, people are getting here automatically while it's removing. So once you have something set up like activity, no activity for past 14 days, then in case a person makes an activity, at least one, then it will be automatically removed from the segment. The next section is catalog. In catalog, we work with our product categories or overall how we set up our affinities. Then to track under customer profiles, we have promotions and surveys. So promotions are our campaigns, or I would say digital assets that will be used in real campaigns. And surveys, Interaction Studio handles also survey feature, which helps you to bring in different data for your customers. Machine learning section is responsible for understand recipes and decisions. Reports were announced recently, so it's a new feature. Understand recipes mostly handles product recommendations, and decisions work with promotions, so what offers to be shown based on machine learning algorithm. Gears are giving us platform extensions, so it's sort of like script activities that we use in Marketing Automation Studio, as well as like overall extension of product features. And feeds this feature is responsible for bringing data in. So Interaction Studio has a separate SFTP account, and each job could be then set up and configured under feeds dashboard. Settings and security admin sections for managing the account overall. Any questions? Okay, I will then get back to, sorry, any question? Oh, it depends. It depends because, of course, once you want to purchase it, it goes through Salesforce communication with account executives, and then based on what is needed for your account, like if you want to go with, it has two licenses, Premium and Growth. So Growth is only for email and web, and Premium goes with other, like, let's say, CRM, mobile application, so it is extended. That's how many visits you have to your web, so it's basically web traffic, how many data sets you will need, and all this kind of features that comes into the play, and then based on all of these, the price is counted. But I can say that it's expensive. So it's
the model is that it's kind of a base price for a web thing.
I would say I can't answer this question because that's definitely the conversation that goes not through me, because it's basically how clients then confirm it with Salesforce, because we then work with already set up account, The only thing is that I can tell you, as I told, what might affect the price.
We don't have to know how much. Well, we do, but as long as we have a bit of an idea of the parameters, that influencing the price.
Yeah, so as I mentioned, so your data storage, channels involved, as well as web traffic, or how many personalization use cases you're approaching to implement, something like this.
And do they make you pay for the audiences as well, like in the Marketing Cloud?
It's you're not limited to the overall storage of data, but personalization use case definitely, and also how many visits you want to capture. So this again, it's for known profiles and anonymous users. So overall, how many people you expect to land on your web? So how many should be tracked then? But like how many data you should bring into from, let's say, Marketing Cloud, it doesn't count like that you are limited to some amount of people. So basically, it will be this visits are considered the most. That's why it's more, yeah.
From one of your new Merkle colleagues, Onno.
Mm-hmm.
You want to ask a question? Shall I read it for you?
Please ask. Happy to answer those.
I'll read it for him. So the real-time personalization, how long is that active? Is that only a short period of time, or is that something you define?
So the reaction, here 2 points I would mention. So one is that before it comes into production, so let's say sometimes it has some issues that you launch something and then it's not performing, or it doesn't show very personalized content, because it still needs some time to capture events, understand everything. So from the very first deployment you will need at least 1 week so it works and captures all data and behavior from your channels. That's first thing. Real-time personalization reaction is real-time. It's up to 30 milliseconds as it is announced from the product specifics, and even from my experience it really works in real time. So for web personalization, when we test or when we see, once I, let's say, search for women's clothes and then come back to the homepage, then I see already some offer tagged to some kind of women promotion. So I mean that it's just on right time in right place. So it's one-to-one personalized. It gives you the right offer immediately. But with my consideration, or with my note, which I mentioned as the first, that once you start work with this, once you start with your campaigns, so you launched your first personalized campaigns, you will still need to give system some time to capture all events, capture some attributes, and then it will be fulfilled more and more, and of course work, I would say, deeper, but the reaction is immediate.
From Linde.
Mm-hmm.
You wanted to ask questions, Rinke, can you go take the mic?
Yeah, sure. So I'm not very technical as most of you guys, but I'm always interested to hear like new products and everything. Could it also be connected to Salesforce community pages?
Sorry, I missed the last part. Pages from where?
From Salesforce. So community pages.
Community pages. So it first of all, web integration. It supports your VL domain. So you need to set up domain from which you want to track events. And in case because it's not natively integrated with pages that you build, let's say in cloud pages or community pages, but the data that you capture, if it's stored, let's say under CRM or in Marketing Cloud, then could be used and pushed to Interaction Studio for the further investigation. So WAP integration is only considered, I wouldn't say maybe not the right word, but we set up it for domain, so the main domain, where we track all events, and then all separate things which you bring in from landing pages, we store then separately.
Okay, thanks.
More questions?
Okay, then the last slide I have, basically it's the new release features. They are, I would say, two of them are technical ones. So these are the first two, but also good to mention what to expect. So we have server-side campaigns and templates, because previously we built server-side campaigns from scratch. Now Interaction Studio announced templates for server-side campaigns. These campaigns are mostly with the site channels like ATM, CRM, point of sale, so the one I mentioned as a custom channels. And it now leverages the same template in approach as web campaigns, because for web campaigns we have web templates set up that we can use as a basis. Of course, we can extend, or we can write from scratch our own template, but Interaction Studio supports us with different templates in system. And this template enables a new targeting rule that helps a single campaign to work across multiple touch points. So crucial thing is that not only server-side campaigns, but also web campaigns or mobile campaigns, we can create one campaign, but under one campaign we can create multiple experiences. So then each experience could be tracked separately, and the overall statistics will be then tagged to the same campaign because it's under one campaign setup. So this template in system for server-side campaign is considered as a new release feature. The second option is not an out-of-the-box solution. It's related to Marketing Cloud Journey Builder activity for Interaction Studio. So it's a custom activity in Journey Builder that allows to send Interaction Studio actions and events directly from Journey Builder, and then receive this unified customer profile from Interaction Studio back into Marketing Cloud. So consider this as a custom activity. There are some kind of recommendations how to build it, but this option as a custom one is now possible to implement, and it's not available as an out-of-the-box solution. But at least, yeah, it handles this scenario. And the third is Interaction Studio service feature, where we can design, test, deploy questions from the service and present them to our visitors or real existing customers in order to gather explicit feedback and then use it to create again our user segments in Interaction Studio, enhance personalization experience based on the answer we capture, and much more. We all know that now surveys are supported in Marketing Cloud emails as well as an interactive content block, but Interaction Studio has also a survey feature in place. Like, the overall feature is not new, but it was extended. So, and the extension came with the new release. And yeah, I have here some resources from my side because I want to share my presentation from today and then to post it, I don't know, maybe in community, so then you have some sources to explore on your own. And I also want to thank you for attention and all your questions. In case you might have another questions out of the session, please reach me out. Twitter, LinkedIn, whenever. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ekaterina. Are there any more questions? And now also one question for me to the audience. Who was using this practice?
Michiel, you're very quiet.
Very quiet, yes.
Very hard to hear.
Is this better? Oh, fuck.
Very echoey spaceship sound. I mean, I'm sure it's great for films, but I'm not sure it's the best for here.
It's the wine. He sounds great here.
I hear you also a little bit faint, all except Ekat. For your presentation, and I would like to go to Douglas.
We can't hear you, Michiel. Sorry.
Not you.
I don't know. Look, I mean, I also, we're definitely later in the evening. I don't know if we still want to take about 10 minutes for me to go through. If anyone still is absolutely interested, I'm more than happy to keep going through. But also, I don't want to hold people up any longer, and I'm happy to do it in the next session, Michiel, if you prefer.
I would like it now because I'm really looking forward also to your topic. So.
Okay, sounds good. Let's do it. So if you want to present, that would be awesome. If you've got the slide deck there, because I closed it from my side already.
There you go. Do you see it?
Super stuff. So hi, guys. I'm Accenture, Doug. Most of you know me. I'm the Digital 360 lead here in the Netherlands, so for Commerce, Marketing, and Experience Cloud. I work a lot with Salesforce as well on doing things like certification and cross-cloud aspects, and also I advise Michiel on how to turn his volume up and down on the side. I've been working together with a couple of colleagues of mine here at Accenture, one of which I think is still in the call, Jörn. And we basically are looking, we've been working in the last 2 years on what we're calling MC Dev Tools. So we can just flick through here really what it is, and I don't want to take too much time because I'd really love you guys to get involved and ask the questions yourself and really poke around, give it a shot. Open Bugs, if you can, is a tool that we've been working on really to bring a bit more of the DevOps stuff to the world of Marketing Cloud. So as many of you know, there's challenges in Marketing Cloud moving stuff around, and the things like Package Manager are basically there to help try and start dealing with those problems. We have kind of been working on this actually for 2 years already, and a lot of it, and we actually decided a couple of months ago actually to push this through for open sourcing to everyone around the world. So everyone can basically access this, can add into it, and we're more than happy for you guys to suggest or find bugs so we can actually fix it out. Given that we actually use this ourselves, so we use this on a lot of projects that we have around the world to really bring scale to the delivery of Marketing Cloud. It brings a couple of things together. So on one side, really trying to bring those DevOps features that you might know from Jenkins or Bitbucket. And it also comes to kind of do some steps around, for example, copying metadata, doing kind of deployment aspects, uploading the data, and also making documentation searchable. So they're kind of like those steps of the standard kind of DevOps setup that you might be already familiar with. And it covers a very broad range of aspects. So that goes from assets. So for example, extracting assets, extracting a whole bunch of stuff in automation, and also making that more usable for developers. So for example, bringing out SQL activities, splitting them out into SQL so you can actually read the SQL, not just have to do it on a screen. You can actually use it just in VS Code. Same thing for scripts, so JavaScript, and also going to things like roles and permissions. So being able to extract roles from one instance and import them into another Marketing Cloud instance, for example, as well as documenting things like those roles. If we go forward just one step, we've been working on this, like I said, for 2 years. Michiel, if you want to flip to the next one. Yeah, we've been working on this for 2 years. You can grab a link to this. There's the bit.ly link just there. It's available on GitHub, on NPM. And kind of at the end of 2018, we worked at a couple of clients that we were really seeing struggle with a lot of these issues. And we actually spoke directly with the team from Salesforce working on the deployment manager. And we basically said, look, it's nice what you're doing. But it doesn't really cover the needs that we have, and it doesn't really fit where we're trying to go. And certainly package manager, I'd like to think was at least somewhat involved in some of our discussions. But it really was more the direction we're trying to go, but it doesn't really fit 100%. What we've been doing since then is really building it out, using it on the first projects in DACH, so in the German region where previously I was working. I'm trying to actually set it up here, and actually we were in the Launchpad Innovation Contest inside of Accenture, which is really like one of those innovation contests we had worldwide in the Salesforce group. Really then rolling out at the start mid of last year to other additional countries. So we're looking at this point covering from Benelux as well as the DACH region. We used it also in the Nordics as well. We were working at the working title Catalyst. And have also been doing training with over 50 people worldwide to really start bringing this. So it's something that we have been using actively. And at the start of this year, we then moved to the open source. So we looked at having a version 3, which has basically been open sourced officially with the title Salesforce Marketing Cloud DevTools, and really brought that to more of the DevOps things. So we have, for example, scripts available for integration for Jenkins, Bamboo, Azure, for things like this. I'm going to go to the next slide. There's kind of 3 core aspects of this, which I really think are really useful to understand. So one is metadata, which is really making that data downloadable, having it recordable, being able to put it into Git, for those of you that are familiar with it. Templating, being able to use the same metadata with some additions, some changes, and use it for different countries. So for example, if you're connected to one Salesforce instance, being able to reproduce exactly the same data extension in every single business unit, which doesn't sound like a big deal when you're dealing with one market, but when we're dealing with some of the clients that we're dealing with, when you have 70 different markets to deploy to, manually doing 70 changes is really time consuming. We can do that in basically a matter of seconds. And then lastly, having that documented. So we've also built in a lot of scripts around trying to just get documentation, especially that's relating to users, relating to roles, data extensions. You know, we're all asked, how can you please put the list of the data extensions that you're using in Jira or put it in Confluence? We've got all that documented, so you can just copy paste. No need to manually go in and type everything. So quickly from there, I basically have a presentation to show you guys quickly a demo. There's nothing really too exciting that's really here, but I hope that it could be something that you're really interested to see. I pulled up, I was having a look at parameter management. I pulled up the setup here, and you can all have a look into this. It's NPM, so for those of you that are developers, you'll be really familiar with what this is here. I don't know if I can get rid of this guy. No, apparently not. So you can just jump in here. What I'm going to do is to jump in and open up a folder in VS Code. So this is just any folder. I was just running some tests here, but I'm going to show you basically the simple setup for what it is. So if you're going to MC DevTools, you go in here. There's a huge README to give you all the information that you want to try and do to use it. Again, this is because we've been teaching people inside Accenture for 2 years how to use this. So you can see here, really simple, set up the command. There's a bunch of other pre-steps, basically around setting up Git, VS Code, and things like this. If you're a developer, you'll probably have those ready. Paste it in. What it's going to do is install all these things here. Okay, so it's going to set up, it's going to install MC Dev, and so that's going to be your little shortcut. It's going to set a whole bunch of things up. Loading. And I wanted to do this real time. Takes a bit of time, but show you kind of the ease of setting all this kind of stuff up, that it's not magic.
Then I'm checking fast if my microphone works. Is it better now?
Much better.
Thanks, Doug.
All good. I love when I get messages like this. Cool. So once I've set that one up there, what we can do is then run MC Dev, and we're going to do MC Dev init. which basically is going to set everything up for us. And we've tried to make this as easy as possible, even for those of you that maybe aren't perfect developers. As you can see, it knows me, it knows I'm from Git, it knows it's from Accenture, so it suggests that name. It's going to set a couple of Git configurations up. You can also use a Git branch here. If you know what that is, you can add it. Right now, I'm not going to add one just for demo purposes, but you can also add it. And then it's going to set a couple of file systems up. It's going to make sure everything's correctly labeled. It's going to go and install some packages, which are really going to help you. You can see things like this. So this ESLint config, for example, this is ESLint for server-side JavaScript from Salesforce, right? So this is exactly doing ESLinting that you might be familiar with from the normal development world. Again, my colleague Jörn is actually the one who produced this simple library. It's very helpful, though, for picking out when things shouldn't work, especially because you all know server-side JavaScript is old, frankly, so it's not the most up-to-date, and so things like this really help you improve your development quality, and hopefully we can get through all these bits and pieces. So again, for those of you that really aren't developers, this might look scary for you. For those of you that are developers, you're like, yeah, I know this, I get this. So credential name it's asking for, we're going to do Accenture. Knowing my luck, I've probably logged out of the session, which is even better. So we're just going to install packages. I'm going to go and delete this afterwards because now everyone's going to have the recording of all this stuff. So these are already set up. Client ID, you can grab all the scopes. We basically don't require, but we request that you add everything just because it's a bit easier. And that way in future, if anything gets added, you don't have to go and update it. Client ID, client secret. Copy, same one here. It's then going to go through and say, awesome stuff. We're really happy to get those credentials. It's going to test them for you, make sure they work. It's going to check all those scopes to make sure you've got access to everything correctly. And it's going to set up a bunch of stuff on the side here, which is going to be what we're going to use for doing this. Now, it's going to ask you right away, do you want to download all business units? So it basically will go in and try and request it for every single business unit. I'm going to click no on this one for a second, because otherwise it's going to download a lot of things. But what I am going to do is basically show you, okay, so let's imagine I say, I don't really want everything, I just want certain things. Let's imagine we want to just get data extensions and some queries, for example. It's a good example for you. So type mcdev, I'm going to do select types. Okay. Now, we're looking in future to try and have this plugged in directly to VS Code. So we have a bunch of things that are going to be improved. So it's a bit easier for those of you that don't remember all these commands. But again, the README is really good. What I'm doing here is just selecting some of the types of data that we want to download. It's all documented there, so you can all access it, including things like journeys, which is really helpful if you want to go search for something. But what you can do is then say, I'm going to get SQL queries here, and I'm going to grab also data extensions. You can see here. So we're going to take those two, for example, and then we're going to do mcdev. I'm going to do R, just for retrieve, and it's going to go, cool, let's go and retrieve some stuff. But it's going to say, hey, which one do you want to do? Maybe you've got multiple accounts set up here. We're going to do Accenture. And then you've got a whole bunch of lists of different business units that we might want to do. So at this point, we can then select specific business units. I'm going to take a small example that we've been playing with here for a demo. Just pull in the Catalyst one. And here we can basically retrieve data extensions, and we're going to put those and save them locally. We're also going to do the same thing for queries. So you're going to see here everything that's downloading. And on the left, you're going to have your retrieve folder. So you're going to see data extensions. So these are all the data extensions that are set up. And you're also going to see your queries. So as I mentioned here, for example, what you can see is that you're going to have on one side the metadata that you've got. We turn these ones here actually in the background from a number, which is your folder, actually into a useful path. So if it's query, you can do query / something else, and then actually change where this is going to be uploaded to. And more importantly, the actual SQL statement. So making it really easy for you guys in here to be able to say, okay, is my code actually correct? Maybe I can do here from where. and then immediately it's going to go, no, problems, don't do this, bad idea. So the whole idea is trying to speed you up and try to make that a bit easier for you. Again, if this is just one kind of small query, maybe it's not a big deal, but especially when you're writing those really kind of complex queries and then you throw it into Query Editor and you have no idea where the hell the problem is, this is the kind of thing that makes your life easier. Now, especially given time, I don't want to go through too many more details. I think, like I said, there's a couple of other benefits here. Basically, we can just pick all these kind of metadata up, drop them into the deploy folder, and then we can just do the same thing, mcdev d, and then deploy. And what it's going to do is then deploy any of those changes straight back to the org. We can also then see in docs, which I think is a really small but useful feature we have. And this is just looking and basically documenting your standard data extensions. So for those of you that see this MD, this is basically Markdown. It's the kind of format you might have in a Git repository. It doesn't really look like much, but actually for those of you that are familiar with Confluence, you'll be able to understand the benefit of having this. We can say, for example, open and preview. And this would be how it would look in Confluence. So you'd have bounce data extension, no description. It's in this folder. There's 21 fields. It's not sendable, not testable, and all this history here. Now, again, all of this is local. So every single time you make a change to the files, you can always retrieve those and check what's going on. For me, one of the really life-saving things is when we're doing really big changes around things like maybe consent, what we can do is just go, okay, let's go check in queries for anything that involves subscriber key. And that's going to go and search for all the queries that we have which contain the word subscriber key. So this is really one of those things that's super helpful when you've got, for example, journeys. We can also download journeys. We don't deploy journeys just because they are really complex, a lot of work around them. But when we can try and retrieve at least some of this data from journeys, we can see where certain fields are used. And that's really helpful to understand because otherwise we will understand if you've got thousands of fields in a single business unit, and you've got maybe 100 journeys that are running or have run over time. Searching, is this field used anywhere, is an absolute nightmare. So using this is a really simple case of retrieve, download, and search. Even if you're not a developer, even if you're not really into the whole DevOps scenario, this is something that's actually helpful for you on the day-to-day. So I think from my side, that's really the basics I wanted to cover today. Again, myself, and I guess you're still in the call as well, I'm more than happy to answer questions if it's here, or if you want to address them directly to our GitHub, you're able to go there on the Accenture site. So you can go through here to GitHub, Accenture, and MC DevTools. And then you can see here any issues that you might find or any questions that you might have. You're more than happy to post them here. We also post our own issues, so we want to be really transparent with you when we find any bugs around things to show also that we're also working on them. You can see a lot of the stuff that we're updating over the past month has been here. So from my side, I think that's the main ones to take away. I don't know if there's any other questions we've got specifically here.
Yeah, my question was how can we contribute, but that's how we can report bugs, so that I think that's one.
Sure. If you want to make a fork from the repository and you want to push in your own suggestions or pull requests, we're more than happy to receive them. We get updates, straight away, so we're happy to have a look at those. I think Videsh here asking hard questions of me because I knew he would always do this. But Videsh, a package manager. Well, quite frankly, I haven't used it yet because, as mentioned, we got it all today. I'm curious how it works, and I'm curious around what it delivers versus promises. I think it's really any of that history tracking. So also we're trying to cover certain other areas around, hey, you've got this feature, maybe someone changed a journey. When did the journey change? Oh, when did the query change? When did this change? And with these kind of tools, we can automatically script a full dump of all the metadata every day, for example, from Marketing Cloud, save it to a repository so that you can see when any changes are actually made. And that's something that Package Manager is never going to do. It's not designed for that. And also we cover other areas. So for example, things like roles are really useful for us when we want to have a comparison. Okay, which role are we supposed to use for what purpose? I think, yeah, as Jørgen just put in the chat, we're going to try and have a look at what's available from it. We'll see where the limitations are, and we'll see what exactly where we really have those comparisons. And ourselves, we're not going to use something from ourselves if there's something really awesome from Salesforce which covers the same use case. So we're keen to also see how that goes.
Yeah, not just trying to be the dickhead that I want to be just to annoy you. But I do see a bit of overlap, but I also see some unique features in this set. And I'm also asking because I'm lazy, because we're realistically looking into this at Swiss in comparison of what should we go for. And I'm lazy. So I thought, ask you, maybe you know.
It's not always for journeys at all, and it's not intended to. There's basically no good documentation with regards to how Contact Builder works with the data designer stuff, and because of that, it's basically a nightmare to try and rebuild all of those decision splits. I would not have wanted to be the developer working with the setup here from Package Manager. So more than happy to talk about these things as well with clients, but I think a lot of the time, when we've seen challenges that we've said too much work, we're not going to do it, because the chances are tomorrow someone changes the API from Salesforce. We've also just said we're not even going to try. So, happy to have Videsh. We can go learn some code and then come back and solve all our problems.
Yay!
Code solves everything.
Thanks, Doug. I mean, generally this looks really cool. So I'm definitely keen to get a try on this.
Sure.
So this, thank you, Doc. Thank you, Ekat. Thank you, Tarek, for presenting. Loved your stories. I will share the recording minus probably the keys we have recorded.
You can send them as well. I'll just delete the package. It's fine.
Okay. Then, but I think for Tarek that will be good. And next session. Let's see if I have that on. The next session is June 24th. So that's already really fast. I think just to conclude, because I have received only one job boards posting from Accenture. So to highlight that, you're looking for a Salesforce.
We're looking for a bunch of people like everyone. We also have a specific sales manager role. So if you're really into commerce and marketing, the sales manager, or you know anyone else, we have lovely bonuses as well in Accenture, like many companies, for referrals. So, I mean, I'm more than happy to push these things myself. But if you're also familiar with anyone, or you got any friends who work for Accenture, I'm sure they'd also be happy to get the referral options from you. So it's two really interesting roles, and we're also very flexible around what we're looking for at the moment. I think it's much like a lot of the industry, very, very busy right now. So there's a lot of flexibility in it.
Okay, excellent. Well, these job boards we're doing every time. So next time we always announce it. And today I was a little bit late with reminding everyone, but please do come forward if you have job postings, and also use the WhatsApp group for that as well. So let's see each other next time in 2 months, or hopefully sooner in other contexts. But loved having you here tonight, and thanks to all the presenters.
Super. Thanks very much, guys. Have a good evening.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Enjoy. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.